This is the F-160 Raiju, one of the best flying vehicles in all of Grand Theft Auto Online. It features an explosive machine gun, missiles, and even a stealth mode, allowing you to go off the radar so anybody in a public lobby has no opportunities to see you or even try to blow you up. In all regards, this is an absolutely amazing jet. When you pair that with the fact that it is the fastest flying vehicle and mode of transport in the game, yeah, it's actually a really solid choice. Or is it? In today's video, I'll be sharing my opinion on why I think personal aircraft are actually a waste of money, and why you should not be buying them, especially when there are much better and more mobile options available all over. Let's get straight into it. Let's start off with reason number one. If we want to call in a personal aircraft, we're going to scroll in our interaction menu till we find vehicles. Then we have request personal aircraft. Now let's say I want to call out, it doesn't really matter, let's just do my Rogue. Super fun plane, it's fast, it gets the job done. So we have to wait for my Rogue to spawn somewhere on the map. It says it's here. I don't actually see where it is. Where the heck is my Rogue, huh? Am I stupid? Oh, it's all the way down at the beach. So my Rogue is spawned probably about 1.5 miles away. Now let's say that you want to get over to your Rogue. Normally, you would go over to your mechanic and you'd be like, okay, I'll call it a personal vehicle to go drive to my plane. Well, to do that, guess what? It will despawn my personal aircraft. So if I call out, let's say my Dubsta, guess what? Bye-bye, Rogue! I know a lot of players, especially new players, that are incredibly irritated by this because they don't have a lot of modes of transport, and they buy something that's super expensive like a plane, a personal aircraft, and then they can't call in their own personal vehicle to get to it. It's kind of stupid in my opinion. You will also have to wait 5 minutes to call in another personal aircraft. As you can see, I still have a 2-minute and 20-second waiting period. So once again, just another little slight annoyance. Now we arrive to reason 2 why I think personal aircraft are kind of pointless. First of all, a lot of people will try to make the argument, oh, the F-160 Raiju is amazing because it has stealth mode and I can use it in a public lobby and not get blown up. But let's be real, if you're in any fast flying jet or aircraft that has flares, nobody's gonna blow you up. In fact, I have done hundreds of sail missions in public lobbies on ground vehicles that are easy targets, and I still don't get people blowing me up. A lot of people don't want to go out of their way just to randomly kill you in the sky. And even if they do, it's not that hard to avoid missiles. It's not that hard to just chill. You can even call off the radar for 15,000 if you really want to, going into your interaction menu in the CEO tab. So overall, it's very easy to avoid people. But even then, who plays in public lobbies nowadays? You can do the Cayo Perico heist, the agency, and so many other ways of making money. You don't even need to go into a public lobby. So the argument of, I need a jet for self-defense just doesn't make sense. And even if you are going into a public lobby, I would be willing to argue that a Deluxo is 10 times better than any jet that you can pull out, because the missiles on the Deluxo are ridiculously busted. You can very easily spam the homing missiles on the Deluxo and turn at a dime's notice, which means that anybody trying to circle you has no chance whatsoever. You can just keep slinging missile over and over and over, and you can't avoid them. I had a friend who's pretty good at dogfighting help me a couple months ago on seeing what was the best dogfighting vehicle in GTA, and they were using the Raiju. I was messing around with a bunch of different jets. The B-11 Strike Force was the best, and even the B-11 Strike Force and Raiju could not deal with the Deluxo. They would shoot missiles at the Deluxo, and you'd simply go down or up, and it would dodge the missiles immediately, and then you would constantly spam missiles, and you would be able to do nothing to dodge them. The Deluxo craps on flying vehicles, in my opinion, especially, again, when you can just go to register as a boss, SecuroServe, and if you're worried about people blowing you up, just go to Ghost Org. It's 12,000, and you can instantly use it. But what about fast travel? Can't I use a jet and get across the map way faster than any other form of transport, especially with something like the F-160 Raiju? Well, technically, yes, but if you're smart, you'll just use fast traveling capabilities. For example, this is me sitting next to my Deluxo. I'm currently at LSIA Airport. Let's say I want to make it all the way over to, I don't know, Paleto Bay. Let's say I want to go right to this location over here. Well, that's very simple. I'm going to press start job, yup, and then I'm going to just right click on my mouse a couple times. It's going to ask me if I want to leave the job. I'm going to say yes, and congratulations, I have just fast traveled. Any player playing on PC can do this easily. And if they're playing on next generation consoles, you can also do this method. I'll link a video in the description down below on how to fast travel. Okay, so there you go, guys. No cuts in the video, and that took me, what, a total of 10, 15 seconds, and now we're at Paleto Bay. I should also point out that it spawns my personal vehicle with me. So, great. We're in the same session, I should also point out. It does not change your lobby. So, this is 10 times more effective than any flying vehicle whatsoever in terms of fast traveling. Again, I can showcase it really quickly. Let's say I want to make my way over to this mission right here. We are going to start job. Yep, let's start up that job. You can see me here. I'm going to right-click on my mouse. I'm holding my mouse on the camera. We're going to leave the job. And just like that, it is now going to fast travel us right over to that location. It is also going to spawn our vehicle right next to us. Let's see, where is our car? Yep, right next to us. So, yeah, I don't even really think the argument of faster mode of transportation holds up when I can spawn a Deluxo or any personal vehicle I want right next to me, wherever I am on the map, and fast travel there in literally seconds. Even if you don't want to do that method of fast travel, there are other easy methods as well. First of all, you have a very, very easy change of spawn location. Let's say I want to spawn near the city. Well, I can very easily just scroll over to my Mazebank West spawn location, go to online, find a new session, and boom, I'm loading into that session. It is way faster to go from one side of the map to the other just by doing this fast travel method. You can already see we are loading into my office building, and just like that, we're there. I should also point out that you can call out a personal vehicle that you store inside of your office building or a helicopter in about 2 seconds at the front desk. So once again, just really, really fast. Let's say you don't want to fast travel. You think it's cheap, it's cheating the game. You'd rather still think that using a jet is the fastest mode of transport just because you can fly it real fast across the map. So what we're going to do is go to SecuroSurf. We're going to scroll to vehicles, and I'm going to call in, it doesn't really matter. How about the Volatus? Pretty cool helicopter. Okay, it has spawned right next to us. There should be a stopwatch at the bottom of my screen started at this point. We are going to head inside of our Volatus, and we are going to make our way over to, how about Sandy Shores? I feel like that's a pretty close location, not too far away. Now, I should point out that we could do this with a Buzzard as well, because that's part of our CO. We could also go over to our Kosatka spawn interaction menu and call out a Sparrow. It counts as the same type of personal vehicle. Now, this aircraft we've called in, same for the Sparrow, same for any type of CEO vehicle or the vehicles that you can spawn outside of your Kosatka, does not count as a personal aircraft. It counts as a personal Pegasus vehicle. What that means is that you can still call in any type of vehicle that you own. So I could call out a Deluxo, I could call out an Oppressor Mark II, and this aircraft is not taking up my personal vehicle slot. Because of that, it's 10 times better than any vehicle you will own inside of your hangar. So as we can see, we are currently flying over to Paleto Bay. We are just now cresting over the mountains, and it's all a downhill trek at this point. So we are just going to make our way down. I'm thinking let's land, how about at the airport? I think that's a pretty fair area. So yeah, we can already see the airport in front of us as it is. Now, the Volatus isn't anything special when it comes to helicopters. It's decently fast, but I figured this would just be a good aircraft to compare to how about spawning in a Raiju and seeing how fast we can get our Raiju over here. So here we are. We are at we're at Sandy at this point. We're just going to touch down and we'll call that done. Okay, so at this point we have obviously completed our little challenge. I'm going to make my way back over to So after watching back the recording, that took us about 1 minute and 36 seconds to complete. Now, we are going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to call out an F-160 Raiju and see how long it takes us to fly our Raiju from where we are over to Sandy Shores at the airport. So we are going to go over to our vehicles tab, and when I press spawn, we are going to count the timer. So let's go look for our Raiju. There it is, F-160 Raiju. So the timer is started now. We're going to go over to services, Kosatka, and we're going to call in our Sparrow. Now, if you're wondering why I've called in my Sparrow, as I told you before, you can't call in a personal vehicle when you are calling out any sort of personal aircraft. So we're going to take our one helicopter and go fly over to our jets so that then we can fly our jet over to Paleto Bay. Yeah, I know, that sounds really stupid, but that's because it is, and this is why I hate the way Rockstar has done personal aircraft. So we're going to fly all the way over here. Here we go. Now we got to slow down a little bit. All right, our jet's also facing the wrong way, but that's okay. Let's just crash land our Sparrow. It doesn't really matter. We don't need it for anything. So just like that, we are now going to hop into our F-160 Raiju, just like so. Got to wait for our character to climb inside. Don't you worry about that. Okay. We are in hover mode, which is fine. We're just going to turn our jet this way, and we're going to put it into jet mode so that we can just take off. Okay, so at this point, we have finally started making our way over to Paleto Bay. I think I've already made my point. I don't know how long we're on the actual timer, but I'm pretty confident that we are quite a ways behind just the most basic of helicopters. And it's a great example, once again, to showcase why, even in terms of traveling, it is much faster just to call out an aircraft like the Sparrow or the Buzzard that is inside of your interaction menu that you can spawn right next to you. Not only do they not take up a personal aircraft slot, but they are also incredibly easy to get out. So here we go. Keep on going, keep on going. I'm at 2 minutes on my recording. I don't know exactly what that means in terms of stopwatch, but let us pull out our landing gear at this point and pull out hover mode so we can land our jet very easily. Here we go, and touchdown. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how long it took us to get here with the F-160 Raiju. After taking a look at the recording, it was about a 20-second difference in favor of our helicopter. I should also point out that the Sparrow is the fastest flying helicopter behind the weaponized Kanata, which means the Sparrow would have actually gotten here even faster, so it would have just been bigger advantage compared to the Raiju. Don't get me wrong, I think that personal aircraft are fun, and they can be useful if you want to own them and just mess around. But in terms of actual effectiveness and usefulness in the game, I would much rather pull out something like a Sparrow or an Oppressor Mark II, a Deluxo, to get the job done. There are some aircraft that I would recommend to pick up. The Rogue, pretty solid aircraft. It's very cheap, it's only about $1 million, and because of that, I always recommend for people to pick it up. It's basically just the best of all the personal aircraft you can own. It's got missiles, it's got an explosive machine gun, it's got flares, it's got bombs, it's got great maneuverability, it can survive 4 missiles, and it even can seat 2 people. But if you don't want to own a personal aircraft after watching today's video, I would highly recommend just to get a Sparrow or a Buzzard inside of your Kosatka or the CEO office building, because of the fact, A, if you ever spawn inside of something like the agency or your office, you can spawn a helicopter out there, and the Sparrow is super useful because of how easily you can just go to services. Oh, well, I guess I can't call it in right now because my Sparrow is actually out, but you know how easy it is to spawn in a Sparrow. That's my personal advice. The only other aircraft I can say that is worth it is the Avenger. This does not take up a personal aircraft slot. You can call it in wherever you want. It'll spawn fairly close to you, and it can survive a crap ton of missiles. So the Avenger's a pretty solid shout. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I know there will be people that are very cynical and disregard my points in the comment section down below. But at the end of the day, it's my opinion, so deal with it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.